So welcome to you from Australia, in Brisbane, and everybody else as well. Welcome to everybody. It's nice to have you here. So it looks like we're just 10 o'clock now, UK time. So let's crack on, shall we? So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Brian. I run a company here in the UK called TV Training Academy, and been doing that, training presenters, presentation skills for the last 20 years. Used to be a presenter before that and all sorts of bits and pieces. And now I spend all my time helping people to communicate effectively on camera, on the screen. So what I am going to go through today is going to talk about that new thing. I don't know if it's all that new, but it's one of the things that Star Now are asking people to do, is that little intro that you have to put at the on your homepage, as it were, on your Star Now profile. And we'll talk about how to do that really effectively, because I know you actors. Have we got any actors here? Oh, we've got lots of actors. Hello, actors. Actors are brilliant with performance. They're brilliant at what they do. They're great actors. But when it comes to presenting, if you're not used to it, guess what? We don't act when we present. It uses some of the similar skills, but it is a different thing altogether, really. So acting is not what we do when we're presenting. And really, one of the things I need to go over today is to talk about how to feel comfortable in front of the camera, how to actually just be yourself without trying to act the part. It's about just you chatting. So we're going to talk about the performance of a presenter and how to come across effectively. We're also going to look at how to structure those little intros as well. But to start off, I want to start off with talking about filming and self-shooting. So how to film at home and make sure that you're getting it right, because this is your professional profile. People get their first impressions of you from looking at that intro. And if it's got bad sound, it's squeaky, it's wobbly, people are distracted with what's going on in the background, or they can't hear you, all those things, which are a really dead simple fix. You know, it's not a great first impression. So let's start off with that. So the first thing is your framing. The way the camera should be for your Star Now profile is what we call landscape. So that's how you can see me now. Okay, it's how it is on television. And not to pick on anybody in particular, but Heath there, yes, hi Heath. If you can see Heath on your screen, he's got it on portrait. And that's fine, because things like Instagram and stuff use portrait. It's great, but it's not great for YouTube, and it's not great for your Star Now profile, because as you can see from Heath's example there, we've got all that grey nothingness to either side. So let's get your camera, first of all, landscape, so we get the framing right. There's something else that we use as well, which is called the rule of thirds. Now, this is a very, very old-fashioned way of filming, but I am an old-fashioned kind of person, so I do still generally stick to the rule of thirds. Now, I know on the Star Now instructions it says make sure you're in the middle, which, okay, that's all right, but I think just off to the side a little bit, just slightly off center, just gives the shot a slightly different dynamic. It's slightly easier to watch, slightly easier to look at. It's kind of what we're used to. That's how a lot of things are filmed, using the rule of thirds. That means my eye line is 2/3 of the way up the screen, and generally I'm 2/3 across, one side or the other. It doesn't really matter, but really just off center gives that a nice shot. Also, try to get a bit of distance between you and the camera, because what we see so often, and we see this on, you know, they've been using Zoom now on BBC and ITV Channel 4, all these for the interviews, and you generally get somebody like this, don't you? Yeah, hi. So you just get this shot right up their nostrils and just the head, you know, a massive head on the screen. So come back a bit, because body language and using your hands to express and help sort of formulate your words and sentences is all part of communication. And that really helps the person watching you get a real feel for you as well. Body language, as we're going to come on to, expressions, facial expressions, things like that, body language, it accounts for a huge part of communication. And if we've just got a head in the middle there, like that, we're losing all that communication. So try to get back a little bit from the camera. This is what I would call, we're pretty much a mid shot here. So we have got it's just above my waist, eyes, but you can see my my hands as well. So rule of thirds, make sure it's on a mid shot and make sure it's a landscape shot. Now, the only problem with moving back from either your phone or from your laptop or whatever it is you're doing is the further away from the equipment you get, the more echoey your microphone is going to sound. And the microphone, the sound of your videos, I can't express enough how important that really is. The sound accounts for 50% of the overall quality of your video. 50%. It's unbelievable. In fact, Steven Spielberg, when he was talking about the soundtrack for Jaws originally, he said that 90% of the threat was the music, was the soundtrack. I mean, if you actually look at the visuals, the rubbery shark was ridiculous, but it's one of the scariest movies, and we would sit there biting our nails, but that sound quality really adds, and it is so important to get right. So making sure you've got a good sound. Now, to do that and get distance from your phone or from your computer, we'll need investing in a little microphone. You don't have to spend the earth. You can spend like 20 quid if you've got a bit more of a budget. I've got some examples here because we've got a load of kit that we use. So this is a nice little piece of kit. It's a Rode. Rode's a very nice make. And you can get that for about 45 quid. That allows you to sit about 2 meters or 3 meters away from your phone. This is a phone one. And you can just clip a little mic to your lapel or to your top there, and you get a really nice sound with maintaining a great distance from your lens as well. And what I'm going to say right at the beginning here is if you have a budget, there's a load of equipment that I'm going to talk about. There is a link that it will be in the chat box. So I'm going to put a link, or Gemma will put a link in the chat box. It will take you through to the website at TV Training Academy, and you can browse via Amazon at all the stuff that I'm going to sort of touch on and talk about. So I'm sure that link, there we go, is up there now in the chat. So the first thing I would say is if you're using either a laptop or a phone, get a little bit of space between you and the equipment and get a nice microphone that you can keep close to your sound, so you've got a really good quality sound. The next thing, if you're using your phone, which is a great way, phones these days, they have high definition cameras. They've got 4K cameras. I think the next one coming out is what, an 8K? I don't know what I'm going to do with an 8K camera. Do you know, it's just massively high quality detail. But when you're using that phone to film, I've got my phone here, make sure that one, as I said, it is landscape, but if you have it in selfie mode, that's with the screen towards you, and we all like using selfie mode and seeing ourselves on that screen because we can see what we look like, we can see if we're framed right, and it just makes it easy. The only trouble is the camera in selfie mode is rarely the quality camera. So you're actually filming on the less quality camera in selfie mode. It's usually standard definition. Does depend on the phones you're using, but most phones, this is the good lens, the one where you can't see yourself. So it will mean just a little bit of setting up and making sure that you're in the right position. So when you're actually filming, you won't be able to see yourself. Okay, so have it that way. So you should be seeing that when you're filming and not the screen with your face on it. Okay, the microphone will be plugged into that. You can get also a little mic. This is a bit of an interesting one. Microphones like this, which they're sort of shotgun little mics, and they are quite good as well. They will point at the sound source and you'll get a pretty good sound from these as well. I think this again is a Rode, so take a look on that web page for all those details. Now, the other thing that I've seen, because I've been watching some of these videos on Star Now, and what happens is people are in selfie mode and they're holding them. And so we're getting shots from up there. We're getting people looking down there. We're getting people looking all over the place when it comes to this. What we want is an eye line more or less level with your lens. You don't want to be looking up to it. That's very submissive. And you don't want to be looking down your nose, because that gives you an aura of, you know, self-important sort of snootiness, if you like. So more or less just on the eye level of the camera itself. To make your life easier, I would also consider getting one of these. If you've got a budget, this is like 12, no, maybe it's 14, 15 quid. It's a tripod specifically designed for phones. And it fits all phones because it has an adaptable little thing there that you simply just slot your phone in like that. And away you go. You're ready to film. And then you've got no messing around when you're trying to hold it up or lean it against some books, or it's wobbling over, or you're holding it and you've got a wobbly shot, or all of that. It just gives it that little extra edge of professionalism when it's nice and still and it's a nicely framed shot. Okay, so you've got your phone, you've got the microphone. There's another thing you might want to consider is your lighting. So when you're filming, it's very, very easy to forget about making sure that we can see you really, really well. I'm just looking for an example of somebody who's got their lighting slightly off, and I can't see anybody. Oh, possibly Joyce. Possibly Joyce. Now there's Joyce. Look, Joyce looks lovely, but we can't see Joyce enough. I don't know if everybody can tune in and have a little look at Joyce. I'm glad you're there, Joyce. It's a great example. Now, what Joyce is doing is she has got a window or a light source right behind her. Okay. Now, what the camera does is the camera sees that really bright light behind her and then tries to adapt the exposure to that. And so it puts us in shadow. That means that we can't really see the detail of Joyce. I think she's disappeared now. She's probably, I don't know, I've lost her. But so that simply means when you're filming, try to make sure that you've got a window in front of you. So the light from the window is coming onto you. You're the subject. And behind you is slightly darker than you are. Okay. If I've got a window behind me, I suddenly go into shadow and you can't see me. So the position of your filming is quite important. Try not to get, oh, Oliver, there's Oliver. Oh, hi, Ollie. How you doing, mate? He's got a door or something behind him there, which isn't affecting it too badly, but it's not as great as it could be. So just try to avoid those bright light sources behind you when you're filming. The other thing is, again, there's solutions to all of this. We're coming into winter now. So, of course, the days are getting darker. The clock's going back soon. They are, aren't they? Oh God. So it's going to get darker. So if you are filming and you've got to do it either in the morning or on a bright day, or you could just pick up a simple little light like this. This again is on the website, equipment for self-shooting. Go and have a browse. You'll find loads of potentials. Some of these you can put, you take the middle bit out and you can stick the camera lens right through the middle. And once you turn that on, if I turn that on, if I do that, it makes quite a big difference even to me, just by holding that there. So again, these are not expensive stuff. We're not talking hundreds and hundreds of pounds here. We're talking 20, 30 pounds for, you know, a complete setup on a real budget. So do go and have a look. It's worth that investment just to put yourself and make sure that you look like a professional. Okay, so also, when you're filming, try to think a little bit about what you're wearing, because as we go on, your intro is the first thing I'm going to see as a casting director, as a producer, or whoever. So what is your brand? What is it you're selling? As a performer, you're a product, really. What is that product? Is it formal, sensible, and serious? Is it a bit weird and wacky? Is it, I don't know, sporty? Is it, what is it? Think about the brand that you are. Think about the brand that you're selling. And generally, when it comes to filming these, we like a little bit of color. something that just comes out the screen. So we've got some great examples of lovely, colourful tops there. AA, I'm sure that's not your real name, AA, but it's but what a beautiful colour that just goes so well with AA's complexion. It just works beautifully, doesn't it? Now, I'm sort of guilty of this in myself in the past. I always used to stick to whites, which I have done here, which isn't the best color, by the way, a white, because it's probably a little bit overexposed. So I'd be better off with a pastel color, with a color that just comes out. Reds are usually very good. We have had one of these webinars where we were talking to one of these people from the House of Color, one of these color matching people who would find the colors for you. And she said that reds are generally good for most people. So anything red or purple or something like that generally works. But find a nice pastel color. Stripes that are really too tight, we get sometimes that zebra effect. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's like a little fuzzy if the patterns or the stripes are really, really close. So try to avoid those as well, because again, that can just look a bit distracting. It's like a shimmer across whatever it is you're wearing. Pastel colors and some nice bright colors. Stay away from black, stay away from white. Anything in between there generally is the way to go with those colors. Okay, so let me just check to make sure I am not missing anything else when it comes to filming at home. I think that's it for the moment. I am going to give you an opportunity to ask questions at the end of this. So if you have any questions, just write them down and you can fire away at the end. I've just noticed one there from Bridget saying about spectacles. Yeah, I keep my spectacles on during these things. I'm aware that when I look up, I get that reflection. So if you are doing your intro, I would say probably spectacles off, unless you absolutely have to have them on. If you are going to keep them on, find a position like I am now where that reflection isn't too bad. As soon as I move up, I get that reflection. As soon as I move down, it's a little bit better. You can see my eyes. And as you're all actors, you already know this. I'm teaching you guys, or a lot of you are actors, I'm teaching you to suck eggs, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. And we need to see those eyes, don't we? We need to let us in and see what it is you're all about. This is why we're doing these intros. Okay, so that's very quickly some tips there on self-shooting. Once again, go along to that link that Gemma's put up there, and you can have a look at all the equipment that you need. You can browse it via Amazon at your own leisure. Okay, let's get on to the juicy bit then. Let's get on to actually performing. Let's get on to how we present, because if you've never presented on camera before, this can be a bit weird for actors, especially because you are no longer looking for a character. You're no longer trying to be somebody else convincingly, although you still are going to use some of the skills you already have, because as you know, when you perform, you find and rely on your own genuine emotions, your memories, to find those genuine feelings. Well, we still need to find a genuine feeling, because when we're doing an intro, we need to be ourselves. If we're not being ourselves, people can see it. How many times have you looked at somebody and gone, I really don't believe a word they say, or they're putting on an act, and you see it immediately. They're trying to be something they're not. We're too good at reading people to be fooled at all, and it literally takes 10 seconds. So you do need to be in a good mood, but you've got to also be yourself. Being yourself is the hardest thing for some actors to actually do when it comes to performing. So what is going to sell you is your brand, is what you are, is what you're all about, is how you are, who you are, your opinions, your ideas, your thought process. The way you do stuff makes you interesting. You might not think it is, but believe me, I've spoken to so many people over years and years and years of doing this that they say, oh, there's nothing really interesting about me. I've got nothing, that anybody would be interested in. Oh, okay, what did you do like after university? Oh, well, I had a gap year and went and worked in Israel in a little home for. I said, you did what? My God, that's amazing. So you travel, you've got a passion for travel, you've got a caring side, you're interested in helping people out, you've got a bit of an adventurous side, spending 6 months over in Israel or wherever you might be. People always never see their own achievements and the things that they have done as particularly exciting because, well, you were there, you did it. But for other people who haven't been there, who haven't seen it, it is really interesting. And it gives us an idea about who and what you are. So being yourself is really, really important, but it is you, I like to say, in the right mood, or think of it like it's you on a really good day. So it's you on a Barocca day. Have you seen that advert? The Barocca you, yeah, you on a good day. Some of you might be looking at me going, what the hell's that? It's an advert. It's an effervescent drink, an energy drink that gets you going, like Red Bull. I'm not saying take substances. That's not what this is about. I'm just using the comment or the tagline. It's you on a really good day. That's generally the you the people are going to want to listen to when it comes to you just actually communicating with them, when it comes to you talking to them. You with a bit of energy, looking like you're interested in what you're saying. Just look like you mean it. That's the performance, because we're not always in the right mood. I mean, some days I get up and it's like, oh God, I can't be bothered. And that bloke on the webinar said, be yourself. And well, this is how I feel. So hello, welcome to the webinar. Oh, it's just been one of those weeks, but my name's Brian. I'm a presenter. So yeah, give us a call if you need some. No. Guess what? I don't think anybody's going to call. So it needs to be you, but on a good day. And that's the performance that, whether you're an actor, presenter, or whatever it is you do, you need to find. Getting in the right mood, in the right frame of mind to actually, because we empathize with each other, don't we? Well, you know this. Again, I'm trying to teach you to suck eggs here. As a human being, if you see somebody who's really gutted and upset, you're kind of concerned for them, to say the least, but it's like, what is it? And if you know them and you can see they're really grieving, it's like, what is it, mate? Don't worry, it's going to be all right. Gets me. What? Hold on, it's not happened to me, but that effect is on me. And if you see somebody who's giggling, I'm dreadful at this. See somebody who's giggling and mucking about, especially when they shouldn't, I just catch their eye and I'm like, no, stop it. You're going to make me go. It's awful. But how is that sort of rubbing off on me? Well, it does. You know, the feel that somebody has when you're talking to them rubs off on them. So if somebody is really positive and energized and energetic, that's the kind of feeling you get. It rubs off on you. If they're really down in the dumps and can't be bothered and, you know, really negative, it's just like, oh God, it's putting you in that mood. So you on that good day, on that really good day, is very, very important. That's the performance. Think of something that gets you going. Think of something that floats your boat. Think of a time where everything was just perfect. Think of a time where you were having fun or if you can't, imagine. Your imagination is just as powerful. Imagine a time you haven't seen a friend for, I don't know, 3 years, and then you just suddenly bump into them in a coffee shop and you're having a really good catch up and it's fantastic to see them and you're really enthused about it. Just imagine one of those scenarios where you're really enthusiastic about that conversation. That's the performance. It's subtle. We don't want to go over the top and become a sort of buffoon. That's not what I'm saying. It's a subtle lift in energy, enthusiasm, and if it's genuine, people can see it. If you fake it, however, then you already know this. It can be spotted a mile off. With Stanislavski. Oh God, I'm talking to a load of actors about Stanislavski. This is brave, isn't it? My God. But what did he say? He said, if you just manipulate the muscles in your face, you're offering an empty shell. But it's the same for presenting, guys. If you just smile, you have ham actors. We have cheesy presenters, and a cheesy presenter goes like this. Hello, it's great to have your company. Oh, really? That's your first lie to me, isn't it? I don't trust you now because you're trying to convince me that you're friendly and in a good mood and on a good day, and I can see that it's not true. It's your first lie, so I don't trust you. Okay, so the only person you need to convince of that you on a good day is you. It's you. And once you're in that mood, I can see it. I really can. Now that lift in energy and enthusiasm, and this is weird. Those of you, have we got screen actors here? Who's done a lot of acting on screen? Gives a wave. Quite a few of you. Now you screen actors, this is really weird, but presenting is kind of the opposite to screen acting when it comes to technique. Because with screen acting, as you know, if it's in the eyes, if you think it, you're in a scene like this and you just got to think it. And you're very still. And that's all you, I'm a rubbish actor. That is shocking, isn't it? But it's a stillness in the actor's intensity in the eyes for those emotional close-up shots. That's not presenting. In fact, what we do to communicate effectively the messages, we emphasize and highlight points. Think of intrigue, think of explaining what you mean, highlighting expressions, its variety of vocal delivery, because the camera sort of sucks all that out when it comes to presenting. So we have to probably be slightly bigger in that expression, emphasis, peaks and troughs and variety of vocal delivery than we perhaps would be if we were genuinely sat in a coffee shop having a chat with a friend. We just lift it. It's a very subtle lift, guys. I'm not talking about becoming a clown or anything, but it's not pantomime, but it is a subtle lift in expression and emphasis to just punch it through that screen. And bearing in mind, when we come onto the structure, which we're going to do shortly, and we've only got 30 seconds on these Star Now intros, 30 seconds to make an impact. And if it's flat and monotone, there's not much impact happening with that. Okay, so the performance is to find some energy, find some enthusiasm, find some passion, genuinely convince yourself of that. When you've got that, what we also need to think about are some of the techniques to actually communicate via the lens. So we've got a great persona, you on a good day, we're natural, it's being yourself. Now we need to make sure that comes through the lens. And I will take my glasses off for this because you need to be able to see my eyes for this. So unlike a lot of acting jobs, we actually look into the lens, as you're probably already aware, straight down the barrel. And now this looks, I'm assuming, like I'm now just looking at you, which is fine. So if I was presenting something, I know, and this is just a chat, so I'm looking at all the pictures generally, but if I was presenting a video, or pre-record, or even if it was live TV, my eyes would be on the lens as they are now. Now that looks like it's looking into your eyes, which is what we're accustomed to, and we're quite comfortable with that. But this is where it gets really weird for somebody who's new to the lens, somebody who's new to presenting, because what's happening here is when I'm talking to somebody in real life and I'm looking into their face because I'm judging how they're reacting to what I'm saying. So if I say something that I think is a little bit funny, I'll look at the person that I'm talking to in real life to see if they think it's funny. Did it land? Do they get it? And I'm also judging, if I say something that I think is really fascinating, how are they taking it? I'm looking for that feedback on what I'm talking about all the time in real life. Now, as I look at this lens, although this is slightly different because in my peripheral vision, I can still see you all, but I'm looking at that lens now. And what sort of reaction do you think the lens is giving me? Nothing. The lens is giving me nothing at all. And so when it comes to presenting for the first few times, it's very easy to just feel a bit weird looking into that lens. And if there's nobody in the room, well, if there is somebody in the room, the first thing you want to do is look at them for a reaction and just have a quick little look off like that. And that might be really quick to me. So in my head, that was really quick. But can you see it if I do that? All right, I'm going to do it really, really quick. You won't be able to see it. You ready? Didn't see that, did you? You do. You see everything. You see every single little thing going on in the eyes. So the eyes on the lens for the entire 30 seconds is a really good place to start here. Looking at that lens. Again, this is where, sorry, I've got a frog in my throat there. This is where you need to do a little bit of performance as well. Again, use your imagination. So when I first started presenting, when I was just looking at that just nothingness of a lens, I started to imagine that I was talking to my mum. Now, my mum thinks I'm great. She does. She thinks, yeah, I can't go wrong in my mum's eyes. So I could literally just go, And she'd go, oh, isn't he good? And she'd give me the great reactions. She totally thinks everything I'm saying is wonderful. So that's a really nice place to work, where that feedback is positive. So I don't need to look for feedback anymore. I'm giving it to myself in my head, because if I don't, I get the natural instinct to want to look away. And even if there isn't somebody in the room, it's really easy just to keep looking away from that weird lens. And every time I do that, I'm just giving the people watching a kind of feel that there's something going on and I don't know what it is. You keep looking at something, but the audience doesn't know what you're looking at. And it's just taking the edge of how strong it can be. And it's weird really as well, because in real life, if I was to hold eye contact like this with somebody I was talking to, if we were sat in a room now and I was looking at you like this, then that's about, what, 30 seconds I've been staring into your eyes. You'd be going, what? What is it, you freak? Well, why do you keep staring at me? But it doesn't have the same effect on the camera. I mean, am I freaking anybody out? No, not yet. How about this? Freaking you out now? Yeah. Okay. So keep your eyes on that lens is the main thing there. There are rules. You can take your eyes off the lens. Of course you can. We take our eyes off the lens all the time, actually, in presenting. The general rule is, sorry, excuse me, is when your audience can see what you're looking at, then you can look at it too. So if I was going to describe this light, my eyes are off that lens now, but it doesn't bother anybody, I'm sure, because you can see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the roto light, ring light there for home filming. Not a problem. I can do that. I could even tell you what I'm looking at. It's about keeping the person involved and keeping them so they know what's going on. I could say to you now, oh, it's getting really windy outside. Looks like it's going to rain again. And that's okay. Doesn't bother anybody, because it's not, I keep looking at it. It's fine. You're that good at reading my facial expressions and body language that I could even go, yeah, have a little look for thought once in a while. And that doesn't bother you either, because you can tell if it's a genuine look for thought, and you can also tell if I'm looking off the lens because I'm uncomfortable. Okay, so eyes on the lens unless the audience can see it or they know that it's there. So when you're interviewing somebody, of course, you're going to look at them. It'd be bizarre and weird if you didn't. The next thing, so I'm just going to have a little glass of water here. Cheers, everybody. It is water. It'd be a bit early for it if it wasn't, wouldn't it? My God, cracking away at what, 10:30? Mind you, it's getting that way, isn't it? Okay, where are we? Next thing, movement. Movement's really important as well when you're presenting to the camera. We move when we talk. You know, everybody uses their hands. Your hands actually help you find the words. They help you formulate the structure of the sentence when you're using them. Now, the trouble is, when you go through a script, when you start to remember a script, you don't need to do that process of formulating sentences, structures, and words in your head. So if you've got a script just learnt off by heart, the first question I've got with people using auto cue or using scripts is, what do I do with my hands? Because it feels weird. You're either sat there or you're stood there, and your hands suddenly become these weird things. So they stop moving. You generally just hold them like that and hold them on your lap or in front of you. And the movement then comes out somewhere else. And if you're sat down, it could be your head's bobbing around. Sometimes we get that sort of stuff. Sometimes we just get fiddling, just that sort of stuff. If you're stood up, we get the wobbling from one leg to another, the shifting of weight, all those things. We need a little bit of stillness, especially on a shot which is a mid or a close-up, which is what we're using. For that 30 seconds, from the waist down, stay really still. Nice and solid, no wobbling, no moving. It's absolutely solid. Let those hands do the expression. There's a little bit of stillness to your upper body. Your head's always going to move a bit when you talk, of course it is, but let that movement still come out in the hands. And if you have got a script, if you've scripted what you're going to say, or you're using an auto cue, then you're going to have to make sure that you consciously do little tiny movements, but keep them varied. Because if you get into a pattern, I notice a pattern very quickly. If you start just doing that because somebody's told you to move your hands, your audience can see that that doesn't correlate with what you're saying. They can see it. We're all attuned to this. Incredible that we can read body language and words and tones and all sorts. So keep those movements totally varied, okay? But you do need to have a little bit of hand movement just to make that look right on camera. Little bit of hand movement, but the rest of you is fairly still, okay? So far, we've got you on a good day with a bit of energy, enthusiasm. We've got eyes on the lens, and we've got a little bit of movement and movement with the hands and stillness. Those three things will absolutely transform the way you present, okay? So I'm sort of doing all of those things now. Eyes are on the lens, I'm using my hands a little bit, and I've got a little bit of energy, and I'm chatting away here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lose that energy, okay? Because I'm not too sure anymore, so I'm gonna lose a bit of that enthusiasm and energy. My eyes are still on the lens and my hands are still moving, but I'm very monotone now, so it's probably getting a bit dull. I'm gonna stop moving my hands now because I don't know what, and my eyes now, I'm not too sure if I like looking at that lens anymore. So hi, my name's Brian. I've been presenting for 20 years. I'm really into and enthusiastic about presenting. It's like, what's happened? Okay, those three things can transform the way you come over on the camera. Okay, so those are the most important things to get right, along with the actual setup and the filming. Is this all making sense? Am I yeah, it's all good, yeah? Okie dokie. So let's touch and have a little look at oh, let me just go back one step with those eyes again. And another reason this is so important to get the eyes right when you're looking into that lens and convincing yourself that you are just talking to your best friend, you're still just talking to a mate, okay, is because we can see in your eyes, if you've just been told to stare at a lens, which is what I'm doing now. So somebody's told me to look at the lens for 30 seconds while I'm talking. So now I'm just staring at that lens as I'm talking, and I'm trying to remember all the other stuff. As I go through my script, my eyes are very different to if I convince myself that there is somebody there. Now, if I convince myself that I'm getting those reactions, that there's somebody there, my eyes, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Come on, you know that. But could you see in that little demonstration how those eyes look different if I'm just staring at a lens, or if I'm kind of communicating, I'm looking through that lens. In my mind's eye, through that lens is a person, and I'm talking to that person. And that will be the same. That will be the case when you're talking and doing your intros for your Star Now profile. You're talking to one person. So get out of your head that this is a presentation to 50 people, 100 people. Even when we're doing live television, it's very rare that you will see people go, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of like, well, how many people here sit and watch TV or YouTube or anything with 35 other people in the room? I mean, most of the time it's just you and somebody else. I mean, if you've got a big family, there might be 4 or 5 of you, but it's never an audience. And as soon as a presenter says, hello, ladies and gentlemen, or viewers, or everybody watching, you lot at home, that sort of thing, I immediately lose that, oh, yeah, no, they're not just talking to me. It's kind of like we just accept that it's a chat with me until we're brought out of that by something like somebody addressing us as ladies and gentlemen. Well, where are the ladies and gentlemen here? There aren't any. It's me. So talk to me. Talk to one person. Talk to your best friend, because the person watching this will be able to pick up on that. Sorry, I've got a real frog in my throat today. It's a strange dry cough that I've been. No, I'm joking. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm joking. I'm all right. Don't worry. Don't worry. So yeah, talk to one person, and it's not an audience. Get that out of your head, especially if you do presenting. If you are going to go on live TV or YouTube and stuff like that, an influencer, if you're thinking, right, I'm talking to 500 people now. It's kind of like you start going into presenter mode. You start presenting at the camera, and the best presenters don't present. They just chat to you. Okay. So if I was to go into presenter mode now and start going, so hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this webinar. My name's Brian. I shall be taking you through some of the finer points of presentation skills. Over the course of the next hour and a bit, you will also get the opportunity to, you can see immediately that that's not, where's that bloke gone who was just talking to us? So you are talking to one person in their home or in their office. So talk to them. Don't present at them. If you present at them, they'll see it and they don't want it. Okay. Chat to them. Chat to your best friend. Okay. The structure then of how we're going to put together our 30 seconds. We haven't got very long here, have we? 30 seconds to get all the best bits of our brand across. Okay, so the first thing that Star Now sort of recommend is to say your name and where you're from. So I'm not going to disagree with that. Tell us your name and where you're from. Then I want to know what you are all about. Are you sporty? Are you politically current affairsy? Are you a screen actor with a passion for soap opera and television? Or are you film and movie? Or are you musical theatre? Are you live, improvised, comedy? What is it that floats your boat? What is it that is your ideal job if you could have it? It's not to say you're ruling out everything else, but make sure that the first thing is that I get a real feel for what is your main thing. What is it that you are the expert at? And one of the other sort of things that I would tend to stay away from a little bit is trying to be a jack of all trades. And I've seen these before where people say, hi, my name's Brian. I'm a model, a juggler, a singer, actor, and presenter. I do voiceovers as well. And I can also do a bit of cooking. You know, it's like, what are you? I don't know what that is. It sounds to me like you're a chancer who'll have a go at anything. Okay, so pick your top three. You know, if your biggest skill is presenting, then highlight that. And then as a sort of a side, just say, I also really enjoy doing a bit of improvisation when it comes to acting as well, which I was lucky enough to do last year. That's okay. You can sort of drip them in as well, but don't give me, 5 or 6 things and say, yes, this is what I do, because that doesn't tell me anything. You're a jack of all trade or a Jill of all trade and a master of none. So give us a real strong idea of what it is. If you've done something really interesting lately, then highlight that as well. I've just finished a Zoom improvised theatre delivery, which was a brand new I just made that up. That's brilliant. Maybe we should do that. I literally just made that up. I've just finished a Zoom improvised theatre tour of the world it was a new concept to do that. Let me know what it is that you've done recently when we're back to, going out and everything back to normal. That's important. And if you've got very few credits just at the moment, you may well be new to performance and the entertainment industry. That's fine as well. Then tell me some of the things that really you're into. And it doesn't matter what it is. It might be that you are, one of the real passions I have is gardening, and I specialize in roses. It might be that's fine. That's all right. It's still giving me an idea of brand you, of what you are all about. Okay. And as I said right at the beginning of this, don't think that it's not interesting just because you've been doing it for 15 years and, it passes your time and you find it interesting, but you don't think anybody else will be because it's, the World Tiddlywinks Championship. It's kind of like, you will be surprised. I was working with a chap the other day. I do some one-to-one sessions with people, and he does, we do them via Zoom. and he actually has the pinball. He's into pinball machines, like old-fashioned pinball machines, and he started filming them, filming the players, started a league, and he commentates on it, and I was just helping him with that presentation. He gets thousands and thousands of people worldwide now on YouTube tuning in. Pinball. I mean, I don't know how much skill there is. I mean, you either hit the thing or you don't. I mean, but no, there's all sorts of it. Oh, there's much deeper than that, you know. It's amazing. So people out there also find stuff interesting that you do. We're all kind of similar in a way. We all do, you know, things that we find interesting. So never put yourself down when it comes to your interests, your passions, your expertise. It could be, as I said, that you did a job once that took you abroad, or maybe you did some sailing and you became a yachtsmaster, or whatever it is. I don't know, but just mention some of these things that you are passionate about, that you're interested in. So 2 or 3 of those is absolutely plenty within 30 seconds. We're really just saying our name. We're saying where we're from. We can say if we're a presenter and a voiceover artist. And last year I did a little bit of improvised acting, which I really enjoyed as well. Fine enough. Generally, there's something called the rule of 3s. Don't know why, but it just works. 3 things that just sit nicely when we're talking. We were taught this when I used to do shopping TV. So, you know, we would just sort of, you know, be selling a pen, and then to summarize it, we'd say, so don't forget, you got the smooth rolling ballpoint tip. You got the easy hook there to clip it in your jacket, and the ergonomic design to make it easy to write. There's your ballpoint, bang. That's it. 3, I can remember. If I start going on to 4 or 5 or 6 things, it's like, what was the first one again? Can't remember it. And I don't really care either. So in points of 3 always seems to work nicely. Okay. Something else that can really bring your little 30 seconds, I'm calling it a little 30 seconds because it's short, is really what I mean. Your short 30 seconds you've got for your intro. Something that can really bring that to life is if one of your things is gardening and rose making, growing things, or if it's sports, or if it's UFOs, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Bring in a prop. Bring in something to show me in that 30 seconds. And just have it there, you know. If you've got humor, if you're a humorous person, you could actually, I like what Helen's doing. Is that wine, Helen? That's right. You must be in Australia as well, surely. Oh, you are. Thank goodness. I thought for a moment you were in London, UK, and I was thinking, right, Helen's got a problem here. It's 10 to 11 in the morning and she's on the red wine already. No, if it's wine, yeah, super. Actually, wine may well be the one that I would possibly not bring on to. Oh, it's fine now, Helen. We all know now. But you know, maybe not. Maybe a bottle which is closed would be fine for your intro. Because again, it's just first impressions, isn't it? So you just got to be careful with that. But if you've got humor, it could be, you know, you could even just bring on a rugby ball. My favorite sport is rugby. I have everything rugby. I don't know why I've got this, throw it away. It just brings a different dynamic to somebody sat there for 30 seconds talking at you. Okay. It's how people will remember you, how you'll stand out from the crowd. Okay. So props are really good idea too, if it's relevant, or you can use it somehow with whatever it is you're talking about. One other thing that I've seen a lot of people do when it comes to doing these little videos is sometimes we feel like we've got to be on our best behavior. I say you're talking to your best friend, but sometimes people look at the lens and it's like they're talking to the vicar. And they go, hello. Yes, hello, my name's Brian. I'm being very, very polite. Thank you ever so much for watching the video. Thank you. And I do hope to see you very shortly. It'd be lovely to work with any of you. Thank you. And it's like, oh, you groveling? No, it's too much. Now, I'm not saying you never say thank you on video, but don't overdo it. And in the 30 seconds, I wouldn't do it at all. I don't think you need to. So when you finish off your video, just finish it off with, and that's me, and a smile. That's all it needs, rather than a thank you and I hope. This comes down to like charisma, charm and charisma. What makes somebody charming and charismatic? Bit of an old-fashioned word, that, isn't it? Charm and charisma. Everybody's cool, aren't they? Or sick. But I should never do that. Never, never do that. Mental note. But charm and charisma. Somebody who is charming and charismatic is somebody, in my opinion anyway, who is totally at ease and comfortable in their own skin, in who they are and what they are, their opinions, their ideas, their thoughts. They trust themselves. And you should too. There is no doubt about that. I always put a little caveat there. You should too, unless there are some ugly things that you need to hide. And what I mean by that is basically an ist. So if you're sexist, racist, homophobic, if you just dislike someone for something they have no control over, then in my opinion, that's a very ugly thing. And you need to hide that if you want to be heard and you want to talk and communicate. Really, my thoughts, I know. So I'm sure that's not you though. So what have you got to hide? You know, your opinions and ideas are what makes you interesting. Your experiences, how you have interpreted information that you've seen, what you've heard, what you've read, what you've experienced, and how you interpret and deliver that. That's why I want to watch you, not because you're like someone else. So be yourself and have absolute confidence in your thoughts and ideas and opinions. Everybody doesn't have to agree with you, but it's not about that. If I can see you're being honest when you're talking, and I can see you're not just saying words without any emotion or feeling behind them, if I can see you're being honest, I might go, well, I don't agree with that, but I wonder why you think that. I'd be interested to know why you think that. I'm engaged. You're engaging that person because they can see it's genuine and it's interesting. So it's not about making everybody agree with you, but it's just being totally at ease and comfortable and trusting yourself and your ideas and your opinions and thoughts, okay? But here's the thing for that charisma to really come through. A charismatic, charming, cool person is in no way trying to make you like them. They're not trying to impress you. As soon as you start trying to impress me, I can see it. You're too good at reading my facial expressions. You're too good at seeing whether I'm winging it or whether I truly believe in what I'm saying. People are too good at that. And if you're trying too hard to impress me, it's a sense of desperation, and desperate is not a good thing in this industry, believe me, unless that's your act on a comedy or something. Desperation is not good. Okay, not in your marketing, your websites, on your show reels, on your letters, and certainly not in your performance. That desperation has to go. Why do you need to impress me? Why do you feel you need to? You're looking for approval. Well, if you approve of yourself, you don't need to look for it in anybody else, and you should approve of yourself. Okay, so that charm and charisma is really important for introductions and stuff like that. But it just starts getting chipped away at and goes towards the desperate when we start using words like, oh, I hope you like, or I hope you like my little video. I hope to see you. Thank you so much for watching. Please do call, and you know, and starting begging for opportunities. No. I've seen these. Don't. So if I were to do it, I would just finish off my 30 seconds with and that's it from me. Bye for now. And a little smile. I wouldn't say thank you for watching. If they're still watching at the end of a video that I've done, guess what? They've got something from it. There was some interest there. They wouldn't be watching at the end if there was no interest or no entertainment. So if anything, when I'm presenting, they should be thanking me. Yeah, that's the way to look at it. You're doing them a favor because they're still watching. So don't be desperate. Don't be needy. there's no place for it at all on these intro videos. Okay, does that make sense? Yep. Give us a thumbs up if it's all making sense. Hell yeah. Let's turn it into one of those Anthony Robbins things. Yeah, we're going to walk on the coals. Come on, hell yeah. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, listen, I've been talking for way too long, probably. Look at the time. It's an hour gone already, just about. So at this point then, rather than me trying to read through all those questions and bits and pieces there, if you want to ask a question, there's two ways. There is a chat, or there's a little reaction, actually. You can put a hand wavy thing up, or you can just wave at me. The first time I've seen is Sia. So is it Sia?
Kia.
Yep. Nice to see you.
Yeah. You can hear me.
I can indeed. How are you?
Excellent. I'm good, thank you.
Splendid.
You talked about the 2/3 position on camera, the rule of thirds, rather. Now, for online intros like Star Now and Audition self-tape, CDs always want a plain background, so there's no distractions, which I assume you agree with.
Yes, I do. Yes.
Now, erecting a large sheet in my house isn't possible because there aren't any large enough rooms, and I haven't got plain walls, so I use a pop-up screen like I've got behind me now. The problem is that as soon as I move back or zoom out into the rule of thirds position, the edges of the screen show and it looks rubbish.
I see. Okay.
So is this just too close to you, how I am now?
It's not a bad shot at all, to be quite honest, and you'll certainly get away with it. In an ideal world, I would like to see your hands as you're talking to me. And unfortunately, doing that, it just, it looks like you're putting them there just for that sake. What I would say is the backdrop's very important. Thank you for reminding me, because I think I missed that out. It is important. As plain as you can get. We don't like, in my room here, you've got hats hanging off in a mirror in the wind. They've got cushions and plants popping out. And we want to try and avoid as much as that as possible. Certainly no bookshelves and stuff like that behind you. But I don't think you need to be really, really strict to have it absolutely plain. I think if there is a wall and there's a picture on it somewhere, or it's, pretty smart in the background with not much going on, but maybe you can see curtains or something from some windows, I think you'll be okay. So try, if you have really got nowhere that you can do it, then I think your shot's okay. But if there is a wall where there's not too much going on, I don't think it has to be 100% plain. I mean, ideally, yes, but it's a way up, isn't it? It's a way up between you want to show them how you communicate effectively or show them how you film well. So I think for me, the communication would just take the edge there. And until they make it, we're not going to put these up until you get it right. I would go with communicating well.
Okay. Is it possible to get extra large versions of these?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Is it like a tent thing that pops up? Oh,
sorry,
Oliver's got one.
It's sort of I don't know. It's about 2 meters by 1.5 meters, and it pops up.
So this one was the same.
Long with corners like that.
Yeah. And what's behind it?
A door and stuff. Just mess. I'm in my voiceover studio, so I hide everything.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't look too bad what's behind you, if I'm honest. If it is just a staircase or something going up, but it's all quite plain apart from that. I think we can get too picky. Really, I think producers, casting directors, they know that you're not production people, unless that's the job you're going for. And as long as it is well lit, it isn't distracting with books and cups and a bottle of beer from last night's, just clutter free. I think it's acceptable. But the other thing is, you should be doing updates on these anyway. So if you do an intro, when you do another job or something exciting happens, do another one. I mean, it's only 30 seconds. And so you should be updating these and and putting new ones up every 6 months or 4 months or whenever you, you know, have something else happen. Updates are important too, I think. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Anybody else got a question there? Christopher, saw your hand first. If you unmute yourself, if you can. Can you unmute yourself from there?
There you are. Is that right?
That's right. Hi, Christopher. How you doing?
Hello. Thanks very much indeed for doing this. It's been fascinating. And I think on my Style Now intro, I've done everything which I shouldn't have. So I've got to go and redo that all. But the question I've got for you, Brian, is this. I'm a comedy impressionist and voice actor. So is putting an impression into that 30-second a good thing or a bad thing, in your opinion?
Are you any good?
I'll tell you what, Brian, that's a very good question, my friend. You want to know if I'm good? I am good. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Swear to God.
Excellent. Love it. Okay. So yeah, put it in. Definitely.
Right, okay.
I think if there's somewhere where you can put that in, I would definitely put that in.
I'd must finish off with that, but it's been really good, the fact that you've highlighted all the things that you shouldn't do, trying to say jack of all trades and, you know, all that type of stuff. So
yeah.
Thanks for that. I'll go and
You're welcome.
do this.
Good. That reminds me as well. I saw one. Thanks for your question, Christopher. Nice one. I saw one intro on Star Now where there was 2 people there who weren't a million miles away from looking like each other, and I was thinking, which one is it? So again, make it as easy as possible for the casting director, the producer, whoever it is. Make it easy for them, because it's not just yours they're watching. You know that they're watching 25, and if they've got to figure out something or it's not clear, or we're just trying to make it as easy as possible for them to see our best bits in the shortest possible time. So that's the game. So just you, don't have a co-presenter, unless that's the act, I guess, but otherwise keep away from that. Okay, where are we up to? Anybody else got a question for me? Okie dokie. Is that PG user 4? Okay, I'm sure that's not your real name, but try.
Susan, sorry, it's Susan. I've
nice
got a new laptop. It's refurbished and everything's a panic, you know, technical. It is a little technical question. You know, you were talking earlier on about don't use a selfie because the microphone is not that great.
The lens,
so
yeah.
You're not really seeing yourself. Is there any way to monitor yourself while you're doing that?
Well, I'm sure there is if you've got a budget. And the easiest way to do it on a low budget is to put a mirror behind. Get a mirror off the wall, stick it behind, and so you can see whether you're in frame or not through the mirror.
Yeah, that's
easy as that.
Cheers.
Okay? You're welcome. Any other questions there? Thanks, Susan. Marcella, there we are. Can you? There we are. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well, thank you. You mentioned the rule of 3 to describe the most interesting things about us. Well, in my case, I want to, first of all, I have done quite a lot of things, but no one is specific that I say I am a master in this specifically, and it's very diverse. And in one of my introduction videos, I said, okay, I have done a lot of things, from being a waitress in New York to working in Buckingham Palace. So I just said, like, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 different jobs, but they are very diverse, like dancing, working in an office, being an IT engineer, being a mother of 2 twins. So I don't know.
And what about your performance as such? How would you consider yourself? Are you an actress, or are you a presenter? Are you a dancer, a singer?
No, basically right now I am doing a TV presenting.
Okay.
Yes, but I would like to also, this is something I'm doing right now, but I would like to go into more acting, something. I also have done some modeling. So that's why I mentioned all of this. Which
Yes. So I would focus on your what you want to do the most, which is presenting, I think. If it's presenting, I would start it off with saying your name, where you're based, and I'm a presenter, and your area of expertise, or some of the things like I've worked in New York. I also worked in Buckingham Palace once, and I have a real passion for meeting people or whatever it is. One other thing that I did is last year I did a bit of acting, which I really enjoyed as well. That's it from me. Bye for now. Bang. Keep it that simple. So you're sort of just dripping in the other bits as it's almost like an aside. It's not really, but I can do it as well. Do you see what I mean? Rather than saying, yes, I'm a presenter, I'm an actor, I'm a dancer, I'm a singer, you're saying, I'm a presenter who's got this experience and that experience. Oh, and by the way, last year I had a little go at acting and I really enjoyed that. That was fantastic fun or whatever. Just tell me something about that quickly. So you can still drip it in, but without sort of going, I want to do anything. Just please give me a job.
okay, no, okay, no, not that either. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
That's
Thanks
nice.
very much. Take care.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Anybody else got a question for me? Give us a wave. There, Anita. There you go. Unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Sorry, I was looking for the thumbs up to sort of to say I'm available to have a question. Thank you so much for this. It's absolutely mind-blowing in terms of what it alerts me to and makes me aware of. I was just wondering one thing. I guess it's a little bit of insecurity, but I want to know, you said to talk about yourself and those three things, the rule of three of what you've done, and just describe what that is in your experiences. Because these Starshots places effectively, even though I'm registered with Starshots, it seems to be more targeted to television and some theatre and that kind of arena. Whereas my experience, and I'm a little confused as to how then I could best sort of make what Starshots targets with where I come from. My primary experience is as an opera singer. And I have all of those theatrical capabilities, all of the ability to, and I also have accents, but how to present it in such a way that the minute they hear the word opera singer, they won't just shut down. I guess that's been a concern of mine.
So what you need to focus on is what is it you want to do now? If it's opera singing you want to do, then I'm sure there's other platforms that are far more suited that you would only know of. I wouldn't have a clue.
No.
What is it you want to do now? Is it acting you want to do? Is it presenting?
Yeah.
Which?
Presenting particularly, and acting, but presenting.
Right. Well, focus on one to start with, see how you get on. I would start off with, say, presenting. And just as I was saying to Marcella earlier on, you can throw in a little bit of acting at the end as a comment if you want. But start off with presenting. So, hi, I'm Anita. I'm from Brisbane. And I'm a presenter. I've got a real passion for music. In fact, I specialize in opera, or whatever it is that, your passion and interests are. So, so there we go. There's your brand. You've got that over in the first 10, 15 seconds. And then you can just dip a little toe in to, I also have done a bit of acting and I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was so much fun. And I can sing a note or two as well. That's it from me. Cheers. Bang.
Ah, fabulous. Thank you so much, because that, makes so much sense. Yeah, I've just sort of, there was a wall coming up thinking how, as much as I adore opera and it is amazing, I just felt it just wasn't targeted in, I just wanted to be part of what Starshots was doing, but I didn't quite know how to make that transition.
Super. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, nice one. Thanks, Anita. Anyone else got a question for me before we wrap this up? Let me just say at this point as well, if you are new to us here, there are all sorts of bits and pieces you can have a look at tvtrainingacademy.com, and we'll have a very new website launching soon as well. But at the moment, if you go to tvtrainingacademy.com, I'm sure a link will pop up in the chat there that you can all click on and follow. there's a members area. Now, the members area is really great because there's forums in there. You can also look at the back catalogue of webinars where I've been talking to BAFTA-winning BBC ITV directors. I've been talking to presenter agents, been talking to podcasters. I've been talking to Kiss FM, radio present, all sorts of people. There's a back catalogue in the members area. It's free of charge, so why wouldn't you? I don't know. Go along, join the members area. There's forums in there as well. Questions. It's good for networking. You can pop show reels up to get tips on show reels. If you've got links to your own social media that you need a bit of interest in, you can use that. There's a forum there for that. So there's all sorts. It's a community for performers. It's more presenting than acting, I'll be honest with you. But still, go along and have a look and join the members area. There's also that equipment page on that website as well. So if you need any of that equipment, go along and have a look at the list there. It will take you straight through to Amazon, and you can have a look at all the equipment that I've been talking about. What else do I need to tell you? There are a couple of other things there available if you're interested. We've got Helen Shepherd, who is a BAFTA-winning BBC director. A big truck's just pulling up outside my window. There we go. She is running a how to become a children's TV presenter. And that is a live course. So if you're in Brisbane, might be a bit of a trek, but still worth it. And that's on Saturday, the 28th of November, all being well. We have a big room where, and I think it depends. I think that one's at 3 Mills Film Studios, but it's a massive, great big room, all social distancing, all precautions with cleaning and wipes and masks and all the rest of it, as you would expect. But that is available on the 28th of November. And then for those of you who want some help, personal help, we offer one-to-one sessions as well, where you can work with any of our experts. You can see that all on the website on a one-to-one basis, and they will sit and you'll have their undivided attention. If you'd like to work with me, that's available as well, although mine is a 6-week plan, 1 hour over the course of 6 weeks, where I've done a lot of work with people who are doing it for business. I've done a lot of work with people who wanted to launch website, launch podcasts and blogs and YouTube channels. And you can go along and have a look at some of the ones that I've helped launch there. Same Again Barman, have a look at that on YouTube. That's one of my mates. We got that one up and running for him. So that's pretty much it from me, guys. And if anybody's got a last-minute question, very quickly give us a wave. There, I saw Emily.
Hi. Amelia.
How you doing?
Hiya. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh yeah, all right.
Good. I was just wondering, so if you had a really good show reel on your Star Now account, but your intro to camera wasn't exactly what they were imagining, is it kind of a make or break thing, or are they a bit forgiving?
Well, what is the problem with your intro, do you think, then?
I think I love acting, but then when it comes to myself, I'm like really self-conscious, and I'll watch it back and be like, oh, why did I do it like that? And
okay, so what you need to do is the thing for you is when you're talking to a friend on a WhatsApp call, a video call, FaceTime or something like that, that's all right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do that. You talk to your friend. And really, it is a WhatsApp call. I mean, that's all it is. But it's just recorded to watch at a later date.
Yeah.
So go about it and practice it. Honestly, if you can act, you can present as well. I promise you. Presenting's a lot easier than acting. It really is. Because, you guys do all sorts of amazing things. All you've got to do is just trust yourself a bit and talk to a friend. And you can do that. I know you can. I don't even know you, but I know you can do that. It's just you've got to believe you can do it. And so film it again. It's easy. And if you need some help with it, send me a link and I'll have a look. And if there's anything that's obvious that's going wrong, I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
But I would, if you're not happy with it, I would film it again. Do it again. Is it a make or break thing? For an actor, probably not, because they should be able to see, if your showreel is great, they should be able to go, okay, yeah, she can certainly act, although the intro isn't strong. The only worry is that they don't get past the intro. They take one look at the intro and go, oh, okay, next.
Oh, okay. So they look at your impression of you first.
That's the only concern I would have. So it's really worth doing it again, I think, and getting it strong. So just think of you on a really good day with loads of confidence, and smart, and have fun with it and muck about. And if you're recording it, do you know what? If it doesn't work, don't send it. So don't worry about a recording, because if it is really rubbish, you're the only person who's ever going to see it. So throw caution to the wind and have fun. And actually, don't be too harsh on yourself as well, because you will always be your own worst critique. So what we see when you talk, we just think, oh yeah, she's lovely. Oh, what a lovely smile. Oh, doesn't she look great and really engaging? And you'll look at it and go, oh, I hate my smile. Oh my God, I wish my nose was a different, or my ears are sticking out, or my hair's the wrong color, or I'm too small, I'm too big, I'm too short, I'm too whatever. But you're the only person who sees that, because we don't. So don't be too harsh on yourself either. And as I said, if you're not sure, send me a link and I'll have a quick look at it for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck with it. Go for it. Okay, so I think that's just about it from me, everybody. I have to thank you all for joining us. We do these every Saturday at 10 o'clock. And as I said, it's not always just me. There's all sorts of other people who come along, from agents to directors. And we had somebody from the House of Colour telling us what colours to wear on screen, and all sorts of other bits and pieces. Go and join that members area, and then you'll find out automatically through that what's coming up. Join our mailing list and keep in touch. And I have to say a very special hello to Norman there. Hello, Norman. Nice clipboard. You all right, mate?
Thank you. I got it from some very, very lovely people this week.
Yeah, be careful where you got that.
Good use.
Good to see you, mate.
You too.
Okay. So, yeah. Stay safe, everybody, and hopefully we'll see you again here with the TV Training Academy. And much love. Bye for now.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
It's great. Thank you.
Take care.